Brandon, so you've just heard, come on, sit over there with Brandon. He's doesn't have to be on the hot seat alone. Let's go down that way a little bit and put that light on, would you guys? Give me all the lights I can. That's good. So you've just had a bit of a grilling. Some good things that we liked about the film. Some things that could have been done better. What do you think? Was it fair?
Oh, absolutely. It's I really appreciate getting the feedback. It's hard to come by.
Good, because I was looking over there. I'm like, oh man, this must be painful.
I feel bad. I mean, I got to tell you, you are a brave soul. And by the way, this is my opinions. I could be dead wrong. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. It's come from experience, but it's for you to choose.
Did you disagree with anything, or do you want to clarify anything as a director?
I don't think there was much. There's in the week that you give us to make a film, we got to make certain.
Yeah. Now you wrote the film as well.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, for the most part, I thought the dialogue was really good, but looking back at it and listening to the comments, what's your thoughts about what you wrote?
Yeah, I think there's definitely places to tighten it up. Some of it comes back to maybe different motives or different background in the characters I have in my mind as I'm writing, and maybe more of it's in my mind than comes across, and so some of the lines have different meaning for me that maybe comes across to an audience that hears it for the first time or the fifth time. So some of it's that. Other parts of it's maybe style. Aaron Sorkin's a huge fan, or I'm a huge fan of Aaron Sorkin. He's very verbose, and some people hate that, and it works for him.
Your story changed significantly, like pretty close, late in the creative process, right?
Right. Yeah.
So this was not written on the day you got the verse or the second day. It was like third or fourth day or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember, but we scrapped another idea we had. So after we wrote it.
So tell us about how the verse, how did the verse enter into it, and how was that the foundation?
Oh, into the story, or
Yeah.
We took some time to study the verse and know what it means in its context and understand that. And it was very important to me that the story was really rooted in the verse and not just kind of tangential to the story. And it was really, really difficult to find something that fit the verse, because...
You mean story-wise?
Story-wise, yeah, because there's really nothing in our modern context that fits the passage one-to-one.
Right.
Slavery. We could try and do that again, but even slavery today is largely, illegal slavery, whereas in the context of Philemon, it was legal, a form of economics there. So I think most of our time was spent trying to find something that could have some kind of similar parallel to that context.
And refresh our memories for people watching. The verse was?
Philemon 11, 10 and 11?
1, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
And it says what?
I appeal to you for my brother Onesimus, who was formerly in change, who was once useless to you and me, but now he is useful. Something along those lines.
Okay, so who is who?
So Paul's writing to Philemon, who is Onesimus's slave owner. Right? Onesimus ran away from his master, was later arrested or somehow encountered Paul in prison, became a Christian, and so Paul is now writing back to Philemon saying, not only accept him back, but actually free him, forgive him completely.
So
of his
obviously
debt to you.
the criminal was Onesimus.
Yes, criminal is Onesimus, and the challenging part is in our parallel is that he had a legitimate debt to Philemon. This wasn't just a personal grudge or something like that. There was a legitimate debt that this guy had owed Philemon. So that's what we tried to capture is a context where somebody owes somebody else a genuine debt that's substantial. So we kicked around a few ideas, and this is kind of the one that we landed on.
And it worked out pretty good.
I guess so.
Praise the Lord.
So, as producer, Dennis, if you've got to go, feel free. I mean, we'll just finish up the interview. Thank you, everybody.
We're carpooling.
Everybody give Brandon a round of applause.
Car, so we'll wrap.
They're traveling together. Okay, well, okay, so you get to listen a little longer. Okay, so tell us your thoughts about the criticism you've heard.
You know, I think it was well rooted in the breakdown of film and whatnot. I do know that the time constraints compel you to finish the product.
Yes.
And so I'm sure that has something to do with it, of course. But also, I think some ways of viewing things might not be the way that other folks view things, or you might get something completely different out of a different crowd, you know. And let's say, for example, where the one character would force the other one to get out of there to kill him. I mean, unless that character didn't care enough about his life to get him out of there, if he was just going to kill him there and just deal with whatever shootout happens, then I could see him aggressively staying there. But anyway, we all have our different takes on things, but I appreciate the critique so that we can grow from our craft and glorify God. You know, the Lord totally had His hand in this whole project and worked it all out and made it happen. And I appreciate the feedback. So the honest feedback, not just our family patting our back, so that we can get better.
Yeah. So tell us about anything unusual happened on the set, and also what has been the impact of winning Best Film and, you know, getting it out there. Have there been any cool stories you can tell us about that in ways that it's affected people?
On set, I was just really humbled to be able to do.
It's your first project, right? I mean, your first producing.
First producing.
Yeah.
I was really humbled on set in the cafe or in the restaurant to be able to do what I love to do and glorify God at the same time. Like I work on other projects and it's work, you know, and it's for a paycheck and it's cool to learn, but this is completely different because you're doing it to glorify God. It was really a huge blessing, and I came to some tears, and I went and sat down with my wife that was doing some paperwork with SAG, and we just prayed, you know, we're really blessed by the whole experience, and what was the rest of the question?
Well, what's been the aftermath of having done the film? Has it blessed other people as well?
Yes, I've seen people blessed by the forgiveness aspect, especially my mom and my aunt, which are dealing with something with my uncle that I won't get into. But I saw that affect them in looking at things in a different way. You know.
Was this a SAG production?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, just to work the wise, SAG actors do bring better performances.
Absolutely.
I think you saw that. I mean, the performance, lesser performances in this film would have really hurt it, and I think that
I believe so.
the performances really just made this.
Yeah, I think that was huge. Absolutely.
Huge.
Yeah. How did you get onto these two brilliant actors?
Through Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah, I did shoot with Boo, the marshal. It's kind of a corporate commercial shoot with him 6 months or so before 168, and we kind of got to know each other on set and wanted to find a project to work on. And once this came up, I gave him a call, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." And I've got a buddy of mine that is in my Bible study. I think he might be interested too. So
Yeah.
went out to coffee with those two guys, and a few weeks before 168, and they said they were both interested, wanted to do whatever. So we got the verse and kind of wrote a script with them in mind.
That's great. Well, congratulations, you guys. I know you got editing to do. Is that?
I'm good on that. Just a baby at home.
Oh, a baby at home. Oh, just a little thing.
What was it like with Ralph Winters? You got to meet Ralph Winters, so what was feedback from that meeting?
It was a blessing to be able to spend time with him and
With Ralph,
pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if
to make a deal.
some future bridges are built. You know.
Yeah, 10 years from now, you'll see.
We're laying some foundation.
I tell you.
You bring Ralph a really good idea, he'll you know, he's a smart guy. He knows a good film when he sees it. So, You know, I mean, they've got a lot of projects in development, but there's no producer in this town that if you can get to them, if they see a good idea, that they won't jump on it. So it's all about
Money.
getting, well, no, the idea,
Money.
the script and the idea.
Who needs
Yeah.
money?
Story.
And seeing the things that are produced nowadays and that are thrown money at
Right.
just encouraged me because there's a lot of garbage out there.
So did you bring
That
ideas
there's
to
throwing
Yeah.
money.
Did you have more than one idea when you had a meeting with him?
They brought him candy.
No, we weren't there to build, you know,
He didn't ask you what you had.
we weren't there to woo him. We were there to.
I remember
Yeah.
an interview with Ralph, and he said, it doesn't matter how good the story is, the question for filmmaking is whether or not the idea is commercial.
Well, that's the other thing.
It
Tony.
needs to sell.
The story has to be commercial. Yeah.
So anyway, any other burning questions? Shout them
Well,
out.
now, did you guys know each other before the competition?
No, I found Brandon on the 168 list of people.
Oh my God.
Or what you call it?
I didn't even know my name was on there. I did a video with David.
David Brashaw?
3 years ago, and didn't realize my name was still on the list.
Yeah.
Weaving the
Actually,
web.
I mean, I used Craigslist is what I meant.
Oh,
No, just kidding.
Oh.
But
We're
it
on
was
there
a
too.
blessing because even though a lot of people didn't know they were on there, a lot of people didn't use it because whatever they thought it was outdated.
Make use of the list.
But I just was nice to people and got some. I didn't get anybody hostile, even if they didn't remember if their name was on there. It was a huge blessing.
What was the budget
Praise the
for
Lord.
that project?
2,000 until wrap, and then we lost another 2,000 in post.
Wow.
I mean, we threw it in there little by little, but it ended up being another 2,000. We're like, whoa, where'd that go? You know?
I have a question. Over the criticisms that we gave over your movie, is there anything that you would want to kind of clarify or justify?
Not really. There wasn't anything big. I mean, most of it, I agree with it.
What happened to the dad? Give it back.
Yeah,
He
what
missed
happened to
that
the dad?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Just watch it 10 more times. You'll get it.
What I'd like to say is that there's a version with clear audio that we cleaned up
Right.
on uselessmovie.com. And check us out on Facebook and stay plugged in with us.
What we'll do is we'll try to post these clips that I've recorded tonight, and then link to the movie so people can, really get a full sense of the good and the needs to be improved things that
Right.
and learn from this. So
Yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways is just trimming. I mean, you can never refine enough. Like you said, just you get your actor up in a tree and you just keep building on top of that. I think this scene could use a lot more of that. And part of what the criticism was the marshal, his goals seemed a little unclear, didn't quite take action on it. And that's a result of me as a writer being a little unclear as to his actions. And that's a good lesson.
One of the things you can do is you get your actors to improv a little bit. You'd be surprised what they'll bring. You just say, okay, this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do, this is what you can't say.
Yeah.
And just see what they come up with. You're not going to use their words exactly, but you'll get a lot of interesting ideas.
and
I will
there's
say-
precious little time to improv, I
Yeah.
suppose. But
Yeah, I mean, we had basically 2 hours to prep the scene. So, but I will say that the two actors brought a tremendous amount to the film. I mean, aside from their performance, just in I won't call it rehearsal, but in just kind of working through the scene, they had to let me know, look, this line's not going to work. That doesn't make any sense. Things I thought might work, they just said that's not going to work. Let's try this, and
right.
they made the film what it is. So.
So I know you got to go. So just tell me. I mean, obviously you learned from the experience. Would you do it again, or are you gonna do it again?
Yeah, well, my wife and I signed up to produce again just by faith, like we started the other one.
Sweet.
We just prayed about it, got confirmation in prayer, and I feel the Lord's called me to make film for Christ, quality film for Christ. And so we signed up by faith, and we'll see, how it goes.
And Brandon, are you in?
I don't know if I can do it this year. Time is escaping me.
Yeah, you just have a new baby, right?
Well, he's 16 months old.
16 months. That's pretty new.
I've been,
Be news to me.
yeah.
Amanda needs a break every once in a while.
Oh yes, this is Mrs. Brandon. So what did you think of this whole process? Did it cause problems between you and the hubby?
It was time consuming, but it was all really good.
Yeah?
So
You're proud of him?
I'm very thankful for all the hard work that he did.
Yeah. Well, thanks for putting up with him and 168, and congrats on the new relatively new baby.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for going through this, and I'm glad you enjoyed and learned, and you still like us.
Absolutely.
All right. God bless.
Yeah.
Ooh.